Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Carpio Corner. My name's Chris,
And I'm Gloria.
and we are tired, but we want to talk about it. So, if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you stick around. All right, Glow. So, both of us are kind of coming out of like different seasons of life right now, and we were both going to talk about discipleship today. That was kind of like the goal. But as we started recording the video, as we started recording the podcast, really, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to me. I feel like it didn't necessarily feel right to you.
Yeah, I'm a little unprepared.
Not just that, but I just think like
Well, I
that.
felt unprepared.
But I just think that I think we're both tired.
Yeah,
You know.
I think so.
And so rather than just talk about discipleship when both of us are pretty distracted, we figured we'd just talk about, kind of what's going on in life right now. And for those of you who listen and kind of care about that, then thank you for listening.
Yeah.
But as is tradition, we can't skip tradition.
No, of course not.
What is it that you brought to the table to drink?
I brought vitamin water again. It's just what my heart desires when I walk into Wawa.
Yeah, it says focus on it. Do you feel more focused?
I just noticed that it said focus on it before.
And then you started feeling more
said that,
focused.
And I was like, support normal neurological function. Like, we should all be drinking this. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't feel more focused yet, but I've also had 2 sips.
Yeah,
So
just get
maybe
like
at the end.
like an IV. Just have a constant IV drip of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll look into that.
Yeah,
I'll pray
I have
about it.
a double chocolate chip cappuccino. No, wait. Frappuccino.
Something like that.
Yeah. If I'm actually looking at the side of this right now, and there's literally so many ingredients in this.
That is so sugary.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel it. It's
yeah.
It's honestly too chocolatey for me, the double
Mhm.
chocolate. I like
Yeah.
the Java chip that Starbucks has, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that is his favorite frappuccino.
Yeah. Starbucks just has like good coffees,
Well, good sugar drinks.
Yeah,
Their coffee is okay.
yeah, their coffee's not great,
But if you get
their
Frappuccino or
sugary drinks, yeah,
something-
like their fraps and stuff. They're like
Yeah.
desserts in a cup.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Good.
fan. Let us know what your favorite Starbucks drink is.
Yeah, the pumpkin chai that just came out is really good.
You already had
So-
it?
I did.
Oh, did you have it yesterday?
I had it. No, yesterday I had the apple crisp oat milkshake and espresso.
Was that good?
Very good.
Did it taste like an apple pie?
It literally did. It was
Wow.
actually really, really good.
Sounds like an apple pie.
Yeah.
That's pretty legit. So what's been going on in your life, Glow, that might put you in the same pool as me?
So, this week especially, I think I've been wanting to process, but it's just been weird because I'm stepping out of the job that I've been in for a little over a year. Not really stepping out. It wasn't totally my decision, but I knew that I probably wouldn't be in that job forever, and it was a prayer for other doors to open, and then this door closed first, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
I wanted other doors to open first before that happened. But I've had, a month to process that and realize that it is a big change because, it's what took up most of my days.
Yeah.
Was your job, even if your job isn't your identity or, it's not how you might, in your free time, you might do things that you feel more identify with.
Yeah.
But it's still where all your time goes
Yeah.
during the day. And so it's just been trying to realize that huge change is coming and what it's going to look like, and trying not to be emotional about it because it's honestly it's good change.
Yeah.
It's just change, which can just feel weird. No matter, if it's your choice or not. But yeah, I've just kind of been tired, I think, because of that.
Yeah.
And trying to finish out well, but also start well the next job. And just lots of things going on. So that's why I'm tired.
Transitional seasons can be really exhausting.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not one who kind of thrives on change, which for for those of you who are listening, if you thrive on change or don't thrive on change, let us know, because I'm sure it's like 50-50. There's some people who like love change, some people who don't love change. I've always said I love change because I kind of thrive in that space. Like I need it almost in some ways, just to kind of keep things fresh. But yeah, I can imagine kind of stepping out of one place, stepping into a new place, and they're totally different jobs that you're kind of stepping into.
I would usually say that I like change too. I think I like it when you know it's coming and you're prepared for it, and you're like, I know that there's this change happening because I made it happen, or it's something like there's this big thing that's, you know, if I had found another job first and I was like, there's this thing I'm moving towards and this change, but when it's change that you like were not expecting.
You want to talk about it?
Like what?
Like how it was change you weren't expecting? Because you're kind of like alluding to, but not really
well,
saying.
the job I was at was a grant funded position, and they aren't able to fund my position anymore.
Yeah.
So like I got laid off.
Yeah.
So then when I was sitting in the meeting, I was like, what? Because it was weird, because like what I've been asking God for, which was a change, but it was like I wanted it a certain way, like how I would want and expect it.
Yeah.
And that's not how it happened. And so it's just like this weird emotional of like, I know it's not my fault why this is happening, but it's still unexpected, and like I don't know, goodbyes are just not fun.
Yeah.
And so just going through this past month of like trying to process all of that, and also find something new, and also try to be like, I don't know what I want to do forever.
Yeah.
So like, is what I'm going to do next be like my dream thing, or lead me to whatever like God has for me at the end? But then I'm like, maybe this is it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, because I think I often struggle with like career is calling, which we've talked about before, which is just not the case.
Yeah.
And like I've been thinking about that too, of like, wait, but what I'm like, my job next might not be like, is that God's calling for me? Like, doesn't mean his calling is going to be like my job.
Yeah.
And so there's just been a lot on my mind, but that's what happened and what's led to like this new change, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
Now, because you know, I have been trying to figure things out the past month, but yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've also been processing, which we don't have to talk about this if you don't want to talk about this, but I think it's a good conversation, and I don't know when it would come up outside of a random episode like this. A couple weeks ago when you were sharing how you were kind of mourning the change that occurred after getting married, not kind of knowing that transitional season was actually having an impact on you too, and there was kind of like a lot of feelings that kind of came into play there.
Yeah, I think we did realize that a couple weeks that that's what really impacted our first couple months of marriage, because I didn't realize that like all the emotions I were feeling weren't necessarily like, I'm married and this is crazy, and it was like, I guess you could say mourning. It feels weird because I'm not mourning any of these great things that happened, like marriage and stuff, but I guess just mourning like that there was not really a transitional period that a lot of people have between like college and the next thing.
Yeah.
Some people have, you know, some time just to themselves to do whatever they want, and you know, I don't know, figure out exactly what they want to do. And you know, it was like 2 weeks after graduation was like marriage, and all of these huge changes. And you know, a lot of it, I mean, getting married is like a decision, but it was still like there wasn't really much transition time. It was just like graduated college, on to the next thing, like here we go right away. Yeah. And so I think we were kind of realizing just that the first couple months were tough, but probably because I was internally just like feeling a lot of things and not even realizing what they were. But now looking back and being like, oh, that's what was happening. I was just going through lots of change and kind of trying to do it on my own in a way.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you just didn't know what you were feeling.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's hard to identify. And even now, you're not necessarily identifying it. But it was like going from being in college and the college life of being able to go hang out with Kendall, you know, just walk a couple blocks down and she lives in that dorm and you guys can just like sit down and talk or go out with your friends whenever you want and go to the movies like all the time, to then getting married right after college and not moving back home first, instead moving into like our apartment and then having to like make this change of, okay, cool, now my schedule is being shared with someone else. That's so exciting. But wait, now Kendall doesn't live like 4 doors down anymore, you know, like
and it's not just my schedule. It's
and
like
yeah.
you have another person's schedule too.
Mhm.
And you're like, when you first get married, it's like we should be spending most of our time just with each other
Yeah.
because you're learning each other.
How to live with each other.
Yeah. But that all came like right away.
Yeah.
Like straight out of that college lifestyle. Once again, like all good changes, but I guess they were just fast. And
Yeah. And I was saying how it's like okay to mourn those things. Like, and I don't take any offense to that
Yeah.
at all, you know, because it's true. Like there's this kind of season that you said no to when you said yes to me, you know. And I don't necessarily know like if you are able to process what you're saying no to until after the fact, you know.
I think so.
Because
Yeah.
like you could have gone home and lived with your parents and had a job and just gone and hung out, done like all these things with all these other people, and you wouldn't have been paying rent. You know, your expenses would have been really minimal. So you would have had all this like crazy freedom, quote unquote, you know, at the beginning. But instead, like you didn't have that, you know, and it's not like you didn't have freedom at all,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, you know, it's just different. It's just like
Yeah.
a different experience.
And it's weird even like thinking about mourning it because I'm like, I'm not mourning at all the life that we have together now.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. It's strange.
Yeah. What are you thinking about the what could
Post-college
have,
is strange.
what could have been, or that kind of thing, or what? Maybe less what could have been and more like what was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not what could have been. Never
Yeah.
been like, I could have.
Oh, if only I didn't marry Chris.
Yeah.
Oh.
Never thought that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And I feel like those kind of conversations have all kind of come somewhat recently, even though I think it doesn't feel like it, you know, our hearts carry the things that we're processing for like a little while, and sometimes they can compound.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're processing one thing, all of a sudden you're processing 3 things.
Yeah.
Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's been a little bit how this month has gone.
Yeah.
It's like other things surfacing just because I'm processing like the end of this.
Change. Yeah.
It's almost like, oh, these other endings happened,
Yeah.
and why don't you feel those?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
It's like, remember this.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I think for me, there's like a lot of really exciting things happening, but it takes a lot of effort to make them happen. And there's this like exhaustion that kind of comes with anticipation, you know, like I'm anticipating, how is this night going to go, or how is this going to plan, you know, turn out or something. And I'm specifically talking in the context of like ministry, which, you know, for people who aren't in ministry, it's basically like work, you know.
Yeah. What have you been working on?
Yeah. And, you know, you have like ambition, you have projects that you're setting forth and, you know, looking to accomplish well because they are going to have potentially an eternal impact in someone's life. Like this stuff that like I'm working on, you know, could be the foundation to a small group that then has a new believer come in, and then that new believer, or a new person come in, and that new person becomes a new believer, you know, like, so everything that I'm setting down right now in my heart and in my mind have like this immense weight of, God, like, please please help me do this well. You know, like I want to do this well. And he's stretching me in places that like I'm not like well suited for necessarily, because I hate emails. Like I don't know who likes them, but I don't like them. And admin things, structural, organizational things. These are all things I don't like necessarily doing. Like I'm not naturally inclined that way. I'm very much like not type A. I'm more creative and vision kind of guy, and I like doing stuff like that. Like those things, I could do that all day. Every day, sit down with me. You want to, you know, make up some imaginary world.
We'll just split your job in half.
Yeah.
I can do your emails.
And so doing this other side of it is like, it's really taxing. Yeah, on my mind. You know, I'm appreciative of the Lord putting me in this position to do this, because I know down the road and even presently, these are skills that I need. And these are skills that I need to sharpen in order to continue to build his kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Even emails can help build God's
It's
kingdom.
It's true.
You know, so, but like today, just like being in here, and, you know, I want to do this. I do. But like being in here, I'm like tired.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, it's
a commitment.
Yeah, it's a commitment, you know, but I think that this is like one of the many ways that God has like blessed us with an opportunity to minister to other people. And I don't think this episode has to be super long, but I do think that it's important for you to know, you know, listener, whoever you are, that it's okay to be tired, and it's okay if the work that the Lord does through you can tire you out.
Yeah.
But like also be discerning and like listen to your body. You know, like if you're tired, rest. I've been like resting along the way and doing this, but still doing what I need to do. You know, like I'll open my computer, answer a couple emails, do a couple things, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to step away, walk around a little bit, just because my brain needs that break, you know?
God doesn't want you to burn out from the work that you're doing, even if it's good.
Yeah. And also know that it's seasonal, you know? I think if you think, oh man, this stuff that I'm doing is like forever, then you're not going to make it, you know? And then also think of, how can I depend on God here in a way that maybe I haven't before? Because that's always a lesson to be like learning. But it's okay to be tired, you know?
And ask for prayer, because I've never been good at that, to be honest. Like if I'm going through something and people ask for prayer requests, I just won't bring it up.
Yeah.
And recently I've been like, can you please pray for me while I look for a job, while I finish at this one? And, you know, don't be afraid to ask for prayer.
Yeah.
Because I know some people, it's not because we all know prayer is important, but not as much be like, wait, but I need people to pray for me.
Yeah.
Because you do need people to pray for you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going through a hard season that you're struggling in.
Yeah. And I also think like, you know, I'm seeing God in my mind right now, like as he is like the good shepherd, and like as a sheep who is tired, one, I know that I'm vulnerable as a tired sheep, but two, I know that I have an incredible shepherd that can protect me. But I have to be cognizant of like welcoming his protection and not just running away from him, you know? So like know that the God who you love loves you and is guarding you and is leading you to, you know, incredible pastures and ones of rest and, you know, life giving. But he also like welcome his protection, you know, because like I could, in the midst of this exhaustion, be really vulnerable to the attacks of the enemy, you know, like in the midst of, you know, this, by God's grace, like this hasn't happened and I don't foresee it happening, but like I could allow for the exhaustion to become stress and then stress to become anger, you know?
I definitely have let my emotions dictate like my words sometimes
Mm.
because especially in this past year, I've just been like more emotional. And sometimes if I am stressed out, it'll just like cause our communication to not be as good.
Mm.
For me to like say something that I'm like, wait, why am I saying that? But it's because there's something else going on, and it's like not an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there shouldn't be an excuse. It's just you got to be more aware
Yeah.
and more like know that the other people are there to support you, and you can lean on them, not, you know, just like let your emotions out. Or that's something to be aware of for
It's true.
myself.
Yeah.
But I don't think you do that.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And, you know, don't let your exhaustion ruin other people's excitement either. I think that's definitely one thing that I'm like really cognizant of. I was almost hesitant to like share that in this podcast because I know some people who listen to it do go to our church and like are seeing all the excitement that's coming along with small groups and like the implementation of it. And I don't want them to be like, oh, but man, this is like really exhausting, Chris. It's like, this is a part of ministry for me, you know, like don't allow for my like humanity, just like I'm a human, you know, like I have limits to, you know, impact your excitement because I am really excited.
Yeah.
I'm like
super excited.
I'm super stoked.
Super hype.
Yeah. I just also
super cool.
I also just get like a little tired, you know.
It's all work.
Yeah. So when people share their excitement with me like in person and stuff, I'm obviously gonna just like echo the energy they're bringing to the table.
Yeah, because it's true.
Because it's true, yeah. And honestly, their excitement brings life to me as well. So, yeah, that's kind of it for me.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, this doesn't have to be a super long episode, but I think there is a necessity for the deep end. And so this is my deep end thing, Chloe. I thought about it ahead of time.
I don't know.
Right beforehand. It's the whole conversation of, and I want to know where you stand on it now that we've been together for a little while. The whole like concept of there only being a certain amount of faces in the world. How has your understanding developed of that? And I'll explain it to the listener. So have you ever realized as you walk around, maybe even now, you're like driving or you're walking as you listen to this, and you're looking at people's faces and you don't think to yourself, I've never seen someone who looks like that before. I know someone. Instead, you think, I know someone who looks just like that person. You ever think to yourself, maybe there's only like 5 or 6 kinds of faces in the world?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Well, now I'm asking you, now that I've explained it.
I mean, I never think about it.
You never think about it?
No, I only think about it when you tell me to think about it, and then I think about it, and then I stop thinking about it, and I don't think about it
But
again.
do you think it's kind of maybe like a little right now?
I mean, I think yes, but I think it's more than 5 or 6. I think it's way more than 5 or 6.
How many? What's your number?
At least 20.
20.
At least 20.
All right. Well, if you're listening right now and you have an opinion yourself, let us know how many faces you think there are in the world. This is like templates.
Well, think of how many people you don't think look like each other at all. That's how many people there could be types of faces of. And there's a lot of people that I don't think look like each other.
But you think they look like someone else.
Maybe, but if they don't look like each other, then there's that many people of types of faces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get your counter argument.
Like right here, we don't look like each other, and that's just 2.
Yeah, we're one of 6.
We're one of like at least 20.
I don't know. If you're listening and you have an opinion, please share your opinion. I'm very interested to hear your theory on
me
this.
Too.
But everybody who listens to this episode, thank you guys for listening. You know, if you've made it this far, you probably don't even need to like and subscribe because you probably already have, because you're just like,
thanks for caring
the real one
about how we're doing.
Yeah, let us know how you're doing. We want to pray for you. You know, if you have our numbers, text us, like for real.
Yeah,
we want to pray for you, or DM us. We want to pray for you. Yeah, and
have a great Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Enjoy the beach.